Yeah, so Dolphin, yeah. So this was crazy news. So, last time I think we talked about that Dolphin, the emulator was going to be on Steam. Well, that's not happening anymore because Nintendo was like, you're not doing that. So, Nintendo put a cease and desist. I think it's DMCA takedown on Valve, actually. Like, they told Valve, like, hey, can you take this down? And Valve apparently didn't dispute it to just be like, okay. So it's down. And Nintendo had this wild statement where it's like, they talk about, so there was a lot of rumors of why this was taken down. Because, emulators are legal, just ROMs aren't legal. So that's like how emulators are able to exist. And people found out that Dolphin actually does have like Wii like keys in them, like legit Wii keys or something. And that's like illegal and they should have not been doing that. But apparently Nintendo wasn't taking it down because of that. They just took it down because they hate them. Like they were just like we think. I'm trying to find a quote. They were like, we hate
it like stops
emulation because it
innovation.
stifles. Yeah, it like stifles innovation. I'm like, what a weird statement. Like I really don't think that's the case at all. I don't know why they would say that because emulation is just there for people to play older games. Like it doesn't stifle anything. It's not like a disrespect either to like older developers. If anything, it should be like. You should be flattered that people want to play these older games still instead of like newer stuff. You know what I mean? Or just make the games easier, more accessible for people to buy or something. Then people wouldn't have to emulate as much,
Yeah, I mean, like my stance on emulating games and playing these ROMs and everything like that is like, do what you gotta do. Me personally, I will never play a emulation unless I actually own the game. So like the only thing I've really emulated is stuff on Dolphin for like GameCube games. But those GameCube games I own. So like Sonic Adventure 2 and whatever else that we were doing for that like one summer or whatever, I don't emulate games that I don't own because I feel like for me personally, like I'm a fucking game collector. I'm a physical boy. So I really do like owning the game. And if I own it and I want to play it like conveniently on my PC so we could do like some funny like speed races or whatever the fuck, then sure, why not? But I will never do that myself personally. If you do it, I'm not going to tell you not to, but that's just my own personal stance. So when it comes to them shutting it down on Steam, I mean, like, that was gonna fucking happen, like Valve isn't gonna take the fall for this, company that created Dolphin and everything like that. That's like, it can be a fucking huge thing for Valve for them to really like, put their foot down on this because like really there's no reason for them to do that. And I think when it comes to this comment about them being like emulation stifles innovation is very hypocritical as this article puts it, because it's like when you look at certain things that happen within recent Nintendo games or even what they're doing with the Nintendo Online stuff, like fucking save states and everything like that, that's because of emulators. That's because of like what people are doing with these games. They're modding them and doing all this crazy stuff with it, which has a community for that has people that want to play these crazy like Pokemon mods or whatever else. And I think that them saying that is very tone deaf and them not really noticing or realizing that like the modding community isn't just them, taking it and putting it on here so thousands and millions of people could play it. It's also them like maybe fixing it or maybe even, changing it in some regards to make it better and just, them having fun with it and loving it, because they wouldn't fucking take these games and put them on here if they didn't want to, do that in some regards. It's not them just like trying to one up Nintendo, because a lot of these games aren't available to really purchase officially.
Yeah, that's kind of my point. Like my stance on emulation is I won't emulate if I could buy it legally for an affordable price, and preferably on modern consoles. But as soon as the game isn't available anywhere, so I'm like all for emulating old Pokemon games because I'm not gonna pay like $400 for like Emerald or something, right?
Yeah.
And they have no like intention to ever release those games like officially anywhere besides on GBA. So I'm like, yeah, I will emulate that because I'm like, I'm not gonna pay some random dude $400. Like, they're not even making money from it anymore. So what's the point? So that's my stance on emulation. If there's no actual official way to obtain the game, then I will emulate it if I really want to play the game. And I think that's fair because like you leave the consumer no choice at that point. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna find the way to do it. Like I'm not really for like when people are emulating like Switch games, I think that's like towing the line of like piracy at that point. Even if you do own it, like it feels kind of weird to me. But yeah, like in terms of like older games, like 2 generations back, I'm definitely like, yeah, just go for it. So yeah, Nintendo's statement here is pretty disappointing, but it's pretty like I kind of expected it. I mean, Nintendo's so vicious about this stuff. So, yeah, hopefully Dolphin doesn't go down for this. Like, hopefully they're not just like down forever. Hopefully it's just a Steam page gain knocked down. But I guess we'll see as the weeks go by. So I still think Dolphin was stupid for even putting on Steam. Why? You're Ravi, like, don't poke the bear. You know? So
I know, or I believe it's because they wanted it to be available for like the Steam Deck and everything like that. So it had to, go through all that. But yeah, I mean, like, guys, you remember like Mario Maker and everything, right? Like that's just them creating different like Mario levels officially through a product. And that's sort of like where it all started with like modding and like ROMs and all that other shit. So
yeah, ROM hacks and stuff. Yeah.
But yeah, Nintendo's doing their own thing. Are they really going to suffer for it? Maybe. Probably not. They're like way too big to really like boycott them, in my opinion. And even if you don't buy like whatever, fucking Zelda already made like however millions of fucking dollars at this point. So
yeah, it just be like that.
All right. So next bit.